Hello and welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where last time we went to trial for the first time in the second case of the game, which, you know what, because, full transparency, I got very annoyed by yesterday's episode due to some gameplay things that weren't working, such as me presenting a piece of evidence that I clearly examined, but the game didn't register that I examined it, despite the fact that I examined it on camera. You guys saw me do it, but it still was like, nah, you can't do that. Some weird thing with summation examination where that definitely should have worked by all logic, but it didn't. And also some things like some tedious over-explanation things we already knew about. The fact that the jury's rigged yet again, and just some other things. I wasn't too happy with how the last trial went, I'll be perfectly honest about that. But, you know, what more important, well, I guess maybe not more important, but an important thing to note here is that even though the last trial kind of annoyed me, it was only the first day of trial, which is a first for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, because up until this point, every other case has been settled in a single day. You had your investigation and you had your trial. If you were lucky, sometimes you only got one of those for the cases, but either way, it was all resolved in one day. But finally, we're actually returning back to the classic formula of Ace Attorney, where they stair-step you up to the revelations, where you have a 1 day of investigation and trial, and then another day of investigation and trial. Thank you very much for going back to that, because it has already made the pacing so much better. So, even though the last trial wasn't super stellar, I'm still optimistic about the rest of the case moving forward. So, with all that out of the way, let's get this show on the road. February 22nd at 1:11 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy, which is looking a lot more barren than it was last time we saw it, because this takes place between cases 4 and 5 of the first game. Let's keep going. Phew, we made it back in one piece. Just, to be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. I'm sorry, I am just perpetually distracted by the fact that it looks like she's massively sunburned on her arm. Like, the lighting on her arm and whenever she does her power pose, which is honestly really awesome, it's so strange. Like, the lighting is so wrong on her arm there. Yes, let's do that. But first, maybe put on some sunscreen. Is everything alright? I suppose I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean, and the Old Bailey no less. Well, apparently that's not gonna last, so... the truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. I'm just waiting for the moment where they pull some insane stuff that revives him back from the dead. Because it said that it was he was almost certainly dead in the last game. But with how prominent he is on the cover of the game, and in the marketing for the game, and on the game's official website, and how no one will shut up about him, I strongly doubt he's gone forever, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I have no doubt that Kazuma-san would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Did I mention that Susato's awesome? I feel like I may not have mentioned that yet. Anyway, I guess we should talk to her. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I mean, I don't know why that was a shock. The victim, we knew he wasn't dead. I kind of assumed he would show up at some point. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief that I have a lisp. Gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Seki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspeare than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspeare certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What, do you mean to tell me that Mr. Shamspeare was a total sham all along? Funny. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? Let me guess, the same one from the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, I mean? Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday, the same hospital to which she was taken. Ah, yes, after Soseki-san stopped her in the back. Do be careful your phrasing now, Haru-san. He didn't stab anyone. Ah, that's a nice way to flip it around. Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's? Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. Or we could go now. I feel like we can probably go now. I mean, after I'm done talking here, of course. But we can probably go after we're done here. So we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question, but as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea, but if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspeare's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives has been over the place already, and yeah, and that investigation proved so fruitful the first time, so I can only imagine what wonders they'll dig up this time, or rather, won't dig up this time. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely! And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. Yeah, because he's proven to be such a reliable source of information recently. Kazuma Asagi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. Yeah, they do not want you to forget about him. There's no way he's not coming back at some point. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway?
Yes, you can fit inside my truck if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know.
Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain?
Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial, that you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it.
But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes.
No, that's true.
I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day...
One day what?
Oh, no. Never mind.
Yeah, you don't get to drop that bombshell on me there, buddy. I'm guessing what he was gonna say was,
one day I may see you in court, in which case it'd be a civil case where, because he was a defense lawyer, so it'd be like, we'd be doing a spirit of justice where it'd be a civil case thing, because that's what Phoenix said to, that's what Phoenix and Maya said to each other in Turn Around Memories, was they were like, hey, maybe I'll see you in court one day. And it was like a moment's like, hey, see what they're doing there? But of course he ended up becoming a defense lawyer, so they did see each other in court, but not quite in the way that they meant it. So I'm guessing he was trying to say, if you become a lawyer, then one day I'll see you in court. But the implication there would be that they'd be on opposite sides of the court, which obviously wouldn't be the case because they're both defense lawyers. But you know what I mean. Point be a civil case. I bumped the mic again. God damn it.
Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream, and that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course.
Yeah, that's right. That's the only reason. I'm sure there wasn't an ulterior motive that they are keeping deliberately hidden for now.
Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all.
Kazuma's true intentions are, we're finally getting to the heart of the matter? Probably not, because he's not even here to tell the tale, but you know.
Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions?
Oh, dear God, okay. I forgot that they have the hands coming up animation.
I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it on my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karuma?
That's right, it's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be part of my katana. By the way, I wanted to point this out yesterday, but I was too annoyed. I did notice that Van Zieks has a katana. So, you know, just something worth pointing out. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. He hasn't pulled it out yet, so I don't think they want you to notice it. But I've noticed it. I see it there. I see what you're doing.
So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need so much, not that you need much compelling
on that subject. There's something very important I have to do in Great Britain.
Something you have to do?
Yes, and I appreciate you seeing it through with me.
Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see through it to the end with you.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
And then he died. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped that the answer would become clear, but as yet I've not found a single clue. I see.
Well, we got 3 cases to go after this, so hopefully we'll find something eventually. But for now, we've got a smaller case to solve. So let's go to the hospital, and we go... I guess this is our way to the hospital. Because we're supposed to go there to check up on him, but I guess we can go to Miss Green's hospital bed as a gateway to the rest of the hospital. What do you suppose is happening? Sound like some sort of something or other with angry voices? Oh, great. Oh, great. Shamspeare and Olive Green are having a lovely chat about something great. I'm so sorry, Miss Green, you have to be subjected to his horrific stage play.
Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken my foot. You were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison the mustache and evicted villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you die from that poison. Yeah, you see, he has to say forgive me because he knows that his stage play is crap, and he's preemptively bracing for having to apologize to everyone for subjecting them to his torturous performances. God of mercy, ample lady, but thou seest I have vigor still. The old my shams. Oh, what the hell are you? Oh, great, he's jumping up and down like a bunny rabbit. I mean, the nerd in me wants to appreciate the cape physics, but the human being in me wants to be like, what are you doing? Like, actually, what are you doing? This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? I guess that's one way to put it. I like how the mouse is just kind of watching this. Oh, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspeare? Marry, I do believe I am returned unto another world. He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work. Oh, great. I forgot, you're insecure about your own stuff. He stunned fellow, so dark. Dark-y-clad? Faith, thy work and course this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Great. Well, I'm glad you would at least know what applause is. I was wondering if you didn't know what it was, because I'm just assuming you've never received it in your life for any of your performances. Oh, well, thank you. But that's not going to bend back. That doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? That'd be a threat that you probably shouldn't be making to the lawyer and your victim, in the case in which you're the victim, but, you know. Also, apparently did bend that easily. I know, excellent! Okay, leave. Goodbye. See you later. Bye. Bye. Nice knowing you. I mean, it wasn't, but, you know, the little lies we tell ourselves. As Dr. Doofenshmirtz puts it, lies are the glue that hold society together. Mr. Shamspeare might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. Meanwhile, I'm so sorry. You should not have to apologize for having to deal with that man. If anything, he should apologize to you. Again. Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. She's very self-deprecative. Me no likey. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. I still don't understand why she has that picture and her paints. Like, how did she get her? Who brought the paints and picture to her while she was in the hospital? Because she's no way she would have had them on her. Nor would anybody have reasonably you wouldn't expect them to take the time to set up the picture frame and her paints as if she'd be here for a while. And I didn't even see the easels right there as well. She definitely, even if you say, oh, maybe she had the paints in her pocket, she sure as hell didn't have that easel on her when she was attacked on the street. So who brought the damn easel into the... Okay. Interesting. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. No, you do deserve it. What do you mean? Oh. This poor mouse has just been chilling here the whole time. Okay, so do we have to examine you to talk to you again? I'm assuming we had to do that last time as well. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you, people in this universe have recovered from a lot worse with significantly less lasting damage than what you have right now. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business, and then completely out of the blue was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. Magically. What a terrible week it's been for you. I imagine for her, most of it's been pretty uneventful because she's been asleep the whole time. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time.
Okay, that was an interesting conversation. Okay, so we didn't come here to, we didn't come here, like, it was nice to stop by and all, but we didn't actually come here to talk to you. We came here to talk to other people, so I didn't want to examine. Can we go to their rooms now and talk to them? Yeah, well, let's go to Sholmes' suite. Oh, wait, no, okay, Sholmes' suite would be, I thought that meant his room in the hospital, but no, that's not quite what this is. I mean, I guess we could stop by and talk to him. Actually, should we go talk to this asshole, or should we go talk to this asshole? Lesser of two evils. Actually, you know what? Let's go here. We don't have to do this, I don't think. But I want to go back to Sholmes this week just because there's... Oh, wait. Oh, but it might not be there. Oh, I just realized it might not actually be here. I wanted to examine the... Someone left a comment earlier saying that I should be examining shovels. So, I know there's a shovel, or at least after they decorate the office. Upstairs, I know there's a shovel by the window. So whenever I get the chance to, I want to examine that shovel and see why people want me to examine the shovel. So I'll do that when I get the chance. I think it, I mean, thing is, I don't know if it's up there now. We might have to wait until a later case when we come back and it's actually, like, full of stuff to check, but we'll see. February 22nd, Sholmes' suite.
Oh, Runo and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups.
Really? Thanks, Iris, but actually, what is that foul smell? Yep. Ask and thou shalt receive. When in doubt, if it's Sholmes. I was gonna say if something smells, it's usually the butts, but that's not the case here. It's Sholmes this time. Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? That was today, was it?
I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure you think you did. Ah, she did. No, she doesn't think she did. She knows she did, because she did. Well, we can laugh about it now. Ha 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 ha. We can laugh at my ineptitude constantly, because I am just so dense. Ha 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 ha. My name is Enoch Sholmes, and I am the great detective. Apparently, somehow. So tell me, how did the trial go?
Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict at least.
Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. It's been like 3 days, but whatever.
Is Lord Van Zeeks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes?
Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo.
Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful.
Aha, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. That's not an answer. I need specific information.
Oh dear, what did you do? Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now?
Do I even want to know? I probably don't, but we're gonna find out anyway. But not immediately, we're gonna talk about Lord Van Zeeks first. Lord Baron Von Zeeks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital.
But vanish how exactly?
By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or, quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow.
It all seems a little far-fetched, really.
Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least.
That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that there's acquitted her, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand.
Ah, as it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always has a cast-iron alibi.
Really?
And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed.
And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky? Or incredibly unlikable. Ugh, I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people.
And I'm interested to see how that plays in later.
So, what is that indescribably foul smell?
Ah, well, most probably this, I would say.
What is that?
My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my!
You invented this? There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor.
And what an interesting time you've chosen to make this exact device in a case that involves tea. Wow, what a coinky dink. That's certainly unsavory behavior.
So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful, Iris.
At the ready, Hurley.
Let us just add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens?
It's turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off.
Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is.
That, with how closely linked your senses of smell and taste are, I don't know how that's possible.
It will appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling.
That's very ingenious, but what do you do with that black liquid now?
Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you?
There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam.
Right.
The point is, we're entering a new era of science. At your hand? No, we're not. In the world of criminal investigation also.
Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times.
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Sherlock Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based.
Yeah. Newsflash from the future. No, it won't be. In fact, I think we might actually look at what you did and seek to do the exact opposite of every method you ever took in your process.
This little tea incident was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research.
Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Yeah, this crazy topic of... I like how I keep bouncing back and forth between this storyline and this storyline. Anyway, with Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese.
Indeed. It is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes?
No, he doesn't. I'll be stunned if he does. And even if he does, he'll probably have forgotten about it already. Or lie about it, because that's just who he is. It was about 10 years ago that Baron von Zeeks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan, which would explain why he has the katana.
What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened?
I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair because
you're useless! Oh, but I thought you were supposed to be competent and useful. You're neither. My world is shattered.
The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe.
Also known as, have a breadcrumb for later, but let's not actually talk about it further. So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science?
Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of higher or inferior quality.
Not a huge number of cases, then.
Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there.
I hadn't even heard of them until recently.
Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I am researching is skin prints.
Wait, did he just... that didn't register at first. Did he just say that he abhors the company of inferior minds? How thorough in your search of other people do you have to be to find people with inferior minds to Sherlock Sholmes? Like, how hard do you have to look to find that?
Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes! As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talent in action very soon indeed.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and then see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Runo. See you later.
Yes, until later.
No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with... No, we weren't. We were not thinking that. You were... No, that's a lie. We were not thinking that at all, actually. Yes, of course, you said it just a moment ago. You said we witnessed your forensic talent in action.
Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later. In all likelihood, probably, maybe, well, I might.
You're useless. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Well, eagerly, thank you for saying that you might maybe eventually at some point in the next 10 years show up to the room that we need you to be in about 5 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your imminent arrival. Your head is in the clouds, Sasato. Bye-bye, Runo. Bye, Susie. Dear Lord Almighty. Okay, well, let's start the bidding for how long it takes for Airlock Sholmes to show up to the scene of the crime. We'll start with 5 years, and then we'll keep going up from there. February 22nd, Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor. Ah, hello, Mr. Fish and Chips. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it with a T in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it! It's with the identification section of the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news! Thank you!
Anything else to say?
Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here.
You mean like you?
He's okay. Well, what, really? Okay.
He showed up almost instantly. I would have lost that bet readily.
Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there?
What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene?
Oi! What are you doing here, Sholmes?
What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised?
Good lord, I hope not. With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. Oh joy. So are we actually gonna get to use Emma Sky style for
what's all this?
What? What? Oh, this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Namahodo. Airlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun.
So, if this evidence is accepted into court, but not Iris's, Iris's blood gun from the end of the last game, I call bullshit. No way this gets accepted and the other thing doesn't. I call bullshit if it gets accepted as evidence.
Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim.
A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup?
Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this. A refined indicator solution. By deliberately spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is our kingdom. It is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. There, now, spray the chemical indicator out and all will be revealed.
Spray? How do I do that exactly?
A little press of A on the area you're interested in is all that's required, like this.
Wow, so we're... Welcome to Rise from the Ashes, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the early seeds of Emma Sky's line of work, I suppose. At the hands of none other than Airlock Sholmes himself, somehow. What is that stuff? It's like fog.
A suspension of the chemical indicator is in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea.
As you do.
Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question.
Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay, well, first things first, check the damn gas meter. That's priority number 1. Okay, so I'm guessing, I mean, I guess we could just spray everything, right? But there'd be no harm in just spraying everything we possibly can. Oh, wow, I feel like that revealed a lot more than it should have, because I feel like this should have been revealed when I sprayed this. And not when I sprayed it over here, but... Okay, so yeah, well, I guess we'll just spray the whole area to reveal as much as possible. And then we'll just, oh. Can I... Oh, okay, I thought I could spray more than one. Anyway.
I guess we'll just spray everywhere we possibly can, and then after we're done... Oh, dear God, what the hell? Look, there are dozens of handprints here.
So there are, a great many indeed.
It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture?
Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire pictures from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. It's a mysterious mystery. Ooh. Alright, and check over here. Anything on Mr. Shamspear's shammy stage? I guess that's all there is there. Okay. What else have I not checked? I guess I haven't... I mean, this has already been revealed, so there's nothing new to find there. Oh, I guess I can check the envelope, but didn't I already spray here? Yeah, there's nothing. I feel like I have the whole area sprayed out to... Oh, I guess maybe back here. Okay, there's the stuff there. I think that's... I'm not... Are we waiting for the game to trigger a response that I'm done, or can I just back out whenever I don't think I can back out. I think... Because there's no option to. I think I'm just stuck here until the game detects that I'm done spraying around, so... Oh, okay, I guess there's something right there. I was pretty sure I sprayed that area before, but I guess now there's something here. Oh, look at all this here.
Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of victims' handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Ooh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here? There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, isn't there?
I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over.
Because that's just who I am. I'm just that much of a ditz.
I think there's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor.
Yes, there's no obvious explanation.
Okay, now the real world looks like the normal colors of the room look odd compared against the neon, like, Nightcore vibe of the previous of the goggle mode. But we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
The painting in the floor. That's actually, now I'm looking at, it appears that piece of the floor doesn't look completely flush with the rest of the floor. So, is there something hidden behind that painting and underneath the floor?
I think the floor warrants close investigation. I won't be a moment.
Is she gonna rip it up? Yep.
Ah!
What is it, Mr. Sato?
Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place?
Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here?
Oi, what are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson. Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there.
No need, Inspector. You continue to dig into your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here.
You fancy talks put me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need.
Okay, well, we found it, so give us the credit, please. A secret hiding place under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami mat.
No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh! It's all investigated at once!
Yeah, she's running over there immediately. I think there's a crate conveniently placed there. There's nothing behind the picture. Really? I don't buy that at all. I don't. That doesn't sound right. Try pulling down the lever on the lamp above. Maybe that'll do something.
How disappointing.
But then, how do you explain the handprints?
I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that.
Oh? Did Gregson find something?
There you are, a print for you.
Oh, I guess, never mind. I guess he took a photo.
Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too?
Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson's found anything under the floor there.
I'm desperate to know.
So am I.
Gregson, you got anything for us, or are you just found diddly-do? Please? Anything? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that. There's gotta be something there. There wouldn't be that many handprints there, and there wouldn't be a piece of the floor, but that's not fully flush with the floor if there was nothing there.
And how about Gregson now?
Yes, because he seems to love you more than all of us, so you must have the best chance of getting information out of him. Obviously.
Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long.
When is it, Sholmes?
I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends.
Yeah, I don't... You two are many things. Friends are not one of them. As Gregson just said, we're not friends.
No, I suppose not.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought he would agree with that sentiment.
A dismal failure.
Yeah, it's the story of your life. Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Or I'd kill to know what's going on inside that man's head. Like, is he just delusional, or is he just scrambling to make himself seem better than he is? I'd love to know. I'm actually kind of fascinated by what the answer would be. Is he just this delusional, or is he just like putting on a show for the world? And he actually secretly knows that he's not exactly all he's cracked up to be.
All right then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you.
Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather.
Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut.
Especially coming from Airlock. I think if Airlock Shrooms calls you a nut, that should be an indication that you are a perfectly sane individual.
There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know?
I'd like to know about all of them, please.
Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness! He committed a capital offense? A man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000.
A hoard? Of treasure, you mean?
Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere and no one knows where. Now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or such was the headline.
Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor?
That is curious.
I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up.
Okay, interesting. Now we'll ask about the photographic print. Wait, that's the guy. Wait, is that the guy in the jury?
So this is the photograph I found. What's recently recent to me?
Is that the guy in the jury? I can't tell. It looks. I think he might have the same haircut. I can't tell for sure. But does he not look? Am I insane? Or does he look like I might be going insane? I acknowledge that. But does this guy not look like he? Okay, he was wearing a hat in the jury, so it might be hard to tell. I might be confusing with someone else. But I swear to God, that haircut and that outfit looks so similar to the guy in the jury. And considering how this game is with people having relevance to the case, nothing would surprise me at this point. Honestly, look, a disclaimer, it is entirely possible that my mind is just playing tricks on me at this point. It could literally be that, but I swear to God, that guy's haircut looks so familiar to that guy on the... And I'm saying that even though he was wearing a hat, which is saying something. But who knows at this point.
It would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here.
And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrett, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrett's son, perhaps?
Perhaps. You can take that print if you like.
Really? Are you sure?
We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is.
Ah, is that true?
Well, if they do, they sure as hell won't tell us.
Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes.
How interesting. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in the fifth case when we end up playing that record in front of everybody. I find that line especially humorous.
My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work.
All the reason I'm not telling you.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you thought you were going to accomplish with that line of logic there, Sholmes.
A dismal failure.
What, your life? We know. I heard. Okay. And now, for the grand finale. The, what was the third thing? The tin box.
Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrett was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it.
And finally, tin box.
Now this tin box is interesting, doesn't it?
Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised.
Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty.
What? Shakespeare, give us a clue, man!
You didn't even have a chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box? Then I wonder. Of course there's gonna be something more to the box. There's always something more. There's always, no matter how insignificant it might seem. Cat? Hey, kitty cat! Daw. Cute cat. The cute cat makes a return. I approve. Oh, look! It's that lovely little kitty cat! What was its name? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever actually asked him. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful! Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious that I bought for you from the cat's meat man. That you had on hand, expecting to meet the cat that you didn't know was gonna... Okay. Interesting. This cat is adorable. I love this cat. This cat is, like, actually adorable. Aww. Aww, now it's sleeping. And Gregson's still digging around the stupid hole. Hee he couldn't be happier now, look! I just hope he can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Well, flashing back from the future. Oh, it's awake now. Look at it, little paws going up and down. See, the thing is, I'm allergic to cats, so I don't have a cat of my own, but, you know, I like cats. Cats are adorable. Dogs, I hate dogs. I've said in many videos before, I think the first time I mentioned it publicly on this channel was in the Ghost Trick Phantom Detective Let's Play, because Missile tried to ram his stupid head into the door that one time. But yeah, for those who don't know, I hate dogs, because every dog I've ever met has tried to kill me, but every cat I've ever met is so cute and cuddly and adorable, and they all like me, so... Cat's good, dog's bad. Anyway, can we pet the cat? Isn't there a Twitter account that's like, can you pet the dog? Can we make one for can you pet the cat? Can you pet the cat in Ace Attorney? I don't know why this is so entertaining. It's just a cat. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Petition for a bonus mode that's just a cat petting simulator. Oh, but he's so adorable! I could sit and watch him forever! I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. Yeah, unfortunately. Stupid investigation game. This is a gas well light, isn't it? It must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights, a gas stove. London really is a city of gas. Now that I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they? Oh yes, you're right. I don't recall seeing a gas stove up there. Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway. It's so much cozier. What a lovely chat. You know, the one area of this room we haven't really checked yet is the stage. Is there anything at the stage that's of any use to us at all? This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office. What? No, not the sunburn arm again. Then you could practice your art every single day! Yeah, the art of being a lawyer. Yeah, obviously. I'll think about it if you promise to don a beard and play the role of the judge. I think Airlock Sholmes would be better suited for that role. Well, if I help you achieve your goal, she would have been willing to do it anyway. This I have to see. Okay, I don't actually think there's anything here that's of any value to us at all. I think can we just go? I'm just gonna go. Okay, where do we... I'm actually kind of stumped. Where do we... I guess just like process of elimination where we haven't been yet. We haven't spoken to Soseki-san yet, so maybe we could go talk to him. Because I'm kind of out of ideas in terms of what we need to do next to progress the investigation. February 22nd, local person cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello? I am a cat. Nope. No, you're not. I can verify. You are telling the big lie. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Airlock Sholmes. I don't know about Courts of Trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am, just a cat.
Yeah, well, okay, well, if you're a cat, then I'm a giraffe, so, are we all gonna have our fantasy session for what animal we pretend to be today?
Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality.
Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name, then?
As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality.
Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? Please, I don't really want to have to go through the process of explaining reality to you.
I am not a cat.
Well, that was easy.
It worked! He's back in the real world! What's going to become of me?
I speak from the future. You'll be just fine.
Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate.
You escape it quite easily, actually. I can confirm.
Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court have proved that there's hope! Yes, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent in court in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere!
He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss.
Oh, yes, we must.
Alright, where do we even begin with this?
In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was it was the most moving experience of my life. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
One, I would assume that someone valiantly fighting for your life twice would probably skyrocket itself to the top of that list automatically. But putting that aside, maybe leave out the other times. Maybe don't address those when you're praising Ryunosuke, but you do you, I suppose. You're too kind.
Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn, Soseki, certainty.
Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night?
Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine, as shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspeare then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then.
Okay. Is there anything else you can tell me about that night that you probably should have told me before that might be helpful?
That rotten Shamspeare, what have I ever done to him?
You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? Such as maybe belittle him for his performances?
I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all.
Right.
But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh, dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence and into such accursed lodgings.
Oh, yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you?
Exactly.
Especially the room that I rent. Because here's the thing. Something about this... The thing that's still, like, in the back of my mind is that something about this case was what ripped Susato away from us in the first game. Something about this case was so mind-bogglingly bad that it caused her father to drag her kicking and screaming back to Japan. Which seems impossible, because this case, you know, I mean, except for the little bungles in the last episode with the trial, it's not that, it's not anything special, but it's not horrible, it's just fine, it's just fine. So it's the thought that there's gonna be something here that's gonna be so imperative that it dragged her away and that no one's ever spoken of since, it's really baffling. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Capital offender?
Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps?
Okay, so he mentioned the capital offender. Well, lucky for you, we have a little something that might be, in relation to that.
What's this?
It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Ah, so he knew, did he?
Sorry?
About this man, Selden. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings.
Uh-huh.
What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another, a miserable mustache, much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit.
I don't even... No, I'm not sure I want to know what road we're headed down here, but whatever happens, we're just going full steam ahead of the crazy train.
The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now, and at the time he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garadeb's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my! Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense?
Yeah, maybe, you know, I'm starting to sense a running theme with the people that occupy this room and what they get accused of, so,
maybe yeet yourself out of there before it's too late. Before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now, and that's when it started. The curse! What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison, a man died in the room. The man who rented it out to Selden, in fact. Okay. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes. Well, that was the start of it.
there's more. I guess there's more.
Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garrett came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known before, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlords, lease, luckily, legal!
Lucky for Mr. Garrett, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. What an interesting coincidence that the room was filled with gas after the fact. What a coinky-dink. And now you believe this curse is affecting you?
It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched all the time.
And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you?
The dead are trying to take me with them. They cuff me and try to suffocate me. Just when I was struggling to breathe, I wake up, and the room is as cold as ice. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible! That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then this is what happened to Mr. Shamsbury last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. It's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange incidents.
Is that ever... Okay, so he mentioned that we should bring him soap next time we see him. Can I just show him the soap and that... Will that count? I imagine it probably will.
Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is. That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair. Oh my god.
I don't know how frequently the words hope and despair pop up in other mediums now. Now, maybe I just didn't notice it before, but it sure as hell seems like those words popping up a hell of a lot more frequently than I ever noticed previously. So great, that's gonna affect you know you've really bungled yourself when you as a series have stapled 2 words into the minds of everyone who played your games in a negative manner for the rest of their lives. Maybe not a good thing. Maybe you messed up somewhere, but what do I know? Not like I spent the past 7 months of my life diving into this world of despair and spending upwards of 24 hours straight periods at a time editing a video series about that crap show. What do I know? Am I right? You've already gone off soap, haven't you?
Absolutely, and I made up my mind. The next time someone gives me a soap as a present, it's friendship. Finished. Firmly.
What, did you not just tell me like 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago that you wanted me to bring you soap? Is that not the thing you said?
I don't think we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume.
Okay, so that, I feel like I probably didn't need to actually do that. I think that might have just been a waste of time. Okay, well, is there anything else that we can talk to you about? Looks like that's it. Alright, so the only other place we haven't been yet is the Garadev's room, so I guess go there? Possibly? February 22nd, Mr. Garadev's room. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garadev. In his own room? What a shocker.
Right bally business it is for me, you know, getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. as the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blaze is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Also, Sholmes is here now for some reason.
Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Basic Beasley business.
I see. You don't need to stand up. I mean, you can stay sitting. We have no issue with that.
So what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh?
Just desperation to figure out what we have to do next. Because I feel like we've hit a roadblock here. At this point, I'm just trying to find things. Like, usually in an investigation, I know, okay, we have to do this to find all the information we can. Here, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do next, so I'm just going around everywhere trying to find anything I possibly can. So we're just kind of seeing what happens. Although, I guess I should probably ask him about while I'm here, I can probably ask him about that photograph we found. It's probably a good idea.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. The convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard of stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, and the next chap in the room goes and keels over. And there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next it? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside in the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamsbury was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems.
Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace. A fascinating history. Why?
It sounds like a lap of luxury. Ah, yes, the fascinating history of everybody who lives here dying. What a fascinating history. I'm not so sure about that. Also, yeah, the accommodations don't exactly seem like a lap of luxury.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included, no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? Like watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here.
Yes, never hurts to keep your eye on things in case there are any mishaps or such like.
I think you've had your mishap already, sir. Ah!
Funny, funny, haha. His wife assaulted him, and that whole crazy incident happened. Ah! Funny, funny, haha. Let's laugh at the man suffering, why don't we? Because I'm a terrible person. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes.
Heaven forgive me. The words just came to my lips.
Yeah, but you have your brain has the power to stop them from leaving your lips. But whatever.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Karadeb.
That's right. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy.
He's undeniably peculiar, however.
Yes, so are you, buddy. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually.
So, how long has Mr. Shamsbury been lodging under your roof? That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months? He's quite new here, too, then.
And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Kevin, if I might ask?
Why did we bring him along?
Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamsbury have some kind of connection, then?
That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other. Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face. The actor fellow.
Really? That's incredible timing.
I remember it quite distinctly.
Oh, don't make me do his voice again.
'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamsbury, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered while for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Those clothes must be muffing your ears. The room on the middle floor's taken. It's ground floor and nothing. Very well. We have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lou, a Shamsbury's dance to celebrate.
Oh, dear Lord Almighty.
From what I heard in court today, sounds like a chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, all right.
Thank you for your candor, Mr. Kavanagh. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me.
What are you doing? What's happened to you?
Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of the most famous lines.
I've never heard it. Or if I have, if that was in one of the plays that I read in high school, I purged it from my memory and I don't want it ever brought to the surface ever again.
I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too.
You know, I never would have guessed it. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? Yeah, my two favorite things, Airlock Sholmes and Shakespeare. Put them together, what do you get? Hell on earth. Okay, well, before we leave, let me ask you about this photograph of which you are in with someone we don't know. Although it might not be him, but he looks really similar. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to take a look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there?
No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name.
Duncan Ross?
A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really.
Also, I find it interesting, I didn't notice this before, but he has he has paintbrushes in his little satchel there. So I'm wondering if he has any relation to Miss Olive Green in the hospital.
Was he by any chance the lodger of former Natsume?
Yes, that's right.
Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say.
Yes, young Duncan lived in that room at the top of the first flight of stairs for the Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him?
Yeah, whatever details you can give us.
Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago, after that criminal Seldom was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes?
Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. The smell of gas that alerted me it was.
Ah, yes. Synonymous with the smell of death.
Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all badly collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes. Room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while that poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night while he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the bally curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. Okay, so it wasn't the guy in the jury, or if it was, then we've got some. I have some questions to bring up about the straight up bullshittery of that. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna confidently say that we're not gonna have another revival and that he is dead. It's not the guy on the jury. He just looks very similar to him, like very alarmingly similar to him.
That reminds me, actually.
Yes,
about young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
Oh, really? And I wonder who that might be.
A love letter, you mean? Yes, where'd I put it now? Ah, here it is.
If you'll excuse me. Let me see now, what does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Mrs. Sato, that is precisely why I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
That doesn't...
I will not excuse Mr. Sholmes.
That's like when you say no offense before you say something offensive. It's like that doesn't shield you from... Oh my god, I hate shield words or shield phrases so much. Things people say that they think shields themselves from criticism, but it just doesn't.
I will not excuse him, Mr. Sholmes, no. Sadly, he didn't address it, though.
Oh.
So I have no means of delivering the thing.
I think we might have a means of delivering the thing. I see. That's going to play on my mind. Well,
But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case.
Oh, really? Yeah, huh?
I think we should leave well enough alone.
I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing, however. There is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sholmes, please! I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling. I
called it.
Ah!
Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside the house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case Uzaki-san was in court for, her regained consciousness only yesterday. Yes, thanks. I remember who she is.
Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personnel correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Sato. Ah!
Don't make a habit of it. Alright, well, I guess we know where we're going now. We are headed to the hospital to deliver it's like Pokemon Sword and Operation Crumb Cake from Phineas and Ferb. We're on a mission to deliver a love letter. Again. February 22nd, St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward.
Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leaves... Ah! What is it? No, stop her! Jesus Christ, okay. What the hell? Not okay, that's not okay. No, you need to tell the doctor about that right now. She just tried to drink I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a bottle of paint, and she just tried to drink it. No, that's not allowed. We need to get you help, please. I swear to God, we can't be dealing with this. What was that? She clearly just hit something behind her back. Wait a moment. No, you will not be with you. No. N-O-No.
Oh, hello everyone. What are y'all doing? No, you're not getting away with that easily. The doctor said I can be discharged. I'm just kidding.
Are my eyes playing tricks on me again? Because it is pretty late at night, I must admit. So my eyes could be deceiving me. But was she not lifting the bottle up to her mouth to try to drink it? What I assume to be a bottle of paint, since it would make sense since she's an artist and she's in the room with an easel.
Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing really. I was just about to take some medicine. The doctor.
No, you weren't. No. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with me. No way she would. No, that's not a medicine bottle.
I don't have anything else to tell you.
Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can coax something out of her. Okay, please enjoy... You recognize this person? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Okay. Oh no! I'm so sorry! The bottle of medicine... That's... yeah, it's not medicine.
No, Miss Green! Are you alright?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's alright.
I feel like we should name the mouse. We'll call the mouse Jerry from Tom and Jerry. Because I feel like we've seen the mouse enough times at this point. We should probably give it a name. I feel like we've formed a personal connection with the mouse. Because I mean, it's just been chilling in the room since we've been here. Like the whole time we've been visiting this room, it's just been chilling out there the whole time. So I feel like we've formed a nice connection with the mouse, even though we've never once interacted with him. I feel like we have a nice connection with the mouse. I keep calling the mouse. We have a nice connection with Jerry.
It's alright, I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan?
Long story.
Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love, engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding.
And that's what led him to Mr. Gavadeb's?
Yes, he told me he'd found the worst, but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green.
Why didn't you just move in together? Okay.
Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose.
I feel like you could have solved the money problem by only having to spend... by cutting your rent in half by living in the same room.
Poor Miss Green, she looks desperately sad.
I was starting to think that's just her look. Yeah, I mean... I'm sorry, was she not about to drink that bottle of... I'm assuming it's paint, because she's an artist, she has paints, she has an easel. I would assume that even if it's not... It's something that would kill her if she drank it. Clearly that's the insinuation. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. The whole universe is against me. Okay. Well, I guess we didn't talk to you about your hospital discharge.
It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat.
She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. I think you might, like, I'm actually genuinely concerned for her. I think we should probably, like, get you to some kind of, to somewhere to get you help. Like, I'm actually, like, genuinely concerned for you. Because I really don't know what the hell's in that bottle, but it clearly wasn't something you're supposed to be drinking if you were startled when you were when we found you. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude. Wait, where'd Jerry go? Where's Jerry? Oh, Jerry left us. Do you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Sholmes? Wait, is that Jerry dead? We just named him! We literally just named him! We just got done picking the perfect name for our little mouse friend. Now he's dead? That is him, right? I mean, we can't see now because of the text box, but if you look real quick, that's Jerry! He's dead! Jerry, why? You were so chill. You were such a chill mouse. You're just chilling in the corner of the room, minding your own business, and then you waddled over to the stupid bottle of what I assume to be medicine or poison of some kind, and now you're dead. Jerry, no! God damn it, Jerry, we just named you! Can we get an F in the chat? I mean, it's not live. Can we get an F in the comments for Jerry, please? Not Jerry. And of course, Sholmes comes in to ruin everything as usual.
Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite another question.
What? Mr. Sholmes!
But of course I was, my dear fellow, watching intently from the shadows as always.
Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Have you not noticed the dead mouse yet?
Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Sato, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart.
What do you mean?
There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo, so let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening, with nothing but careful observation.
Alright.
All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see.
You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can.
Are we making a game out of spotting the dead? Really? Are we making a game out of spotting? It's Jerry! This isn't a game. Jerry's dead! They're like, I know you can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. Find that dead mouse. It's Jerry! Like, look, if I saw this in real life, if I saw a dead mouse on the ground in real life, I'd freak the hell out, obviously. But it's Jerry! It's Jerry! I know I only named him like 10 minutes ago, if that, but still. The mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of that bottle. I'm sorry, is that really supposed to be a medicine bottle? Okay, even if it is, which I don't, that looks like a very, very large label-less medicine bottle, if that's what it's supposed to be. But even if it is, you do not pick up a medicine bottle and drink it like she was about to if her intent was to drink it normally. That's not how medicine works. You don't think...
Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place.
Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before is spilt onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. Yes, my initial thought was that it was going to be paint because it would make sense for her to have paint in the room. And, you know, if you're looking for a quick way to poison yourself, it's readily available for you. It definitely didn't look like a medicine. Definitely didn't look like a medicine bottle, so I knew it wasn't that. But I knew it had to be something that would kill you instantly if you drank it. So whether it be a poison or just paint in the room that you might have been trying to drink, could have been anything about it. It clearly wasn't the medicine, and clearly she was trying to kill herself. I don't know why we had to make a game out of finding Jerry's dead body, but okay.
Were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life?
Ah! Once we left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the... I don't know why you... I knew immediately that was what you were trying to do. I don't know why the hell it took you this long to figure it out. How is it that Airlock Sholmes, who wasn't even in the damn room, figured this out before you? Miss Green, please talk to us. Or if not us, then talk to someone. Please. I don't want you to take your own life. Please.
10 seconds later and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green.
Actually, in a way, Now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, for this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the morning, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while.
Wait, so that is actually a medicine bottle? That is a very big medicine bottle, for Jesus Christ. Okay.
It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains.
I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drink it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
Well, it seems clear. I can't. I can't with those quivering eyes. I can't. They just melt your heart every time.
It seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, no, it's all my fault. What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection?
No, none.
Jesus, this game is heavy. Like, this is because we also, I mean, it was played for laughs in the 5th case of the first game when Windbag kept trying to shoot himself in the head. But I didn't take it as a joke. I took it as serious. Like, I felt bad for the guy because he clearly was not stable. So I wanted him to get help, and then he died. And now it's the same thing here. It's like, I don't want you to, like, I just feel bad for her. Because she's clearly not of a sound mental state right now. So she needs to seek out help from someone. Like, like, unironically, earnestly, seriously, I wanted to get help from someone. This is just, I didn't want to pick that again. It's just sad. I mean, this case has been a roller coaster so far.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope of the card.
I didn't want to skip forward there. Hold on.
It arrived by post in my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Interesting. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar... Yeah, I gathered that. Thanks, but I gathered that. The fact that it was on Briar Road made that pretty clear for me. Thanks, buddy. And 5 p.m.
Yeah, I got it, thanks.
It's precisely the time when the incident occurred.
But that'd be a strange,
The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road.
Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garrett's house is on.
Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad.
Goodness, that is a mighty... As if that case needed even more coincidences. She just so happened... The reason this all happens is because she happened to be summoned to the Slug and Salad on that exact day to meet up with someone talking about Duncan Ross on that exact... Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry.
No, it's fine.
We can't. We're not just gonna leave her here, right? We're gonna tell someone, like to help her get help.
Please, promise us you won't try to do anything.
No. You are not gonna leave her here alone. No, you are not doing that. Absolutely not.
Don't worry, your detective friend has the bottle now anyway.
That's not gonna stop. Really? Because okay, that does not prohibit you from being able to. There are many things in this room you could use to try to kill yourself again. I see at least 3 in this room right now.
And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through the end.
Okay. Like, I obviously, the game wants you to believe her right now, and I think that she is being genuine because of the way that it's written right now. But if this were in real life, no chance in hell that I would ever be okay with leaving her by herself after what just happened. If you walk in on someone and you stop them from trying to kill themselves, no chance in hell you're leaving them by themselves. That's not happening. Even if you yourself can't stay to be with them, you are if I were in this situation, I would not leave until I knew for sure that someone could be in this room with her to make sure she didn't try to do anything. No way in hell I would ever leave her alone like this. That's absurd. No. Get your little asses back here. No. What are you doing? What? Really? Really? We're gonna leave her alone? Oh, dear God, it's night now.
It would appear that we've reached the end of the investigative trial for today.
I'm not okay with leaving her alone. I'm not okay with that at all. Yeah, it's late.
And Mr. Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think?
Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Gerard's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. I can't help but wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found strychnine in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it'll be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper.
Oh, dear. Yes, Barak von Zeeks.
But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial.
Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come?
Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning.
Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people, but away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Soseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us! And to be continued. Okay, I have some thoughts. So, first things first, no chance in hell I would ever leave her alone in the hospital. That would not happen. After what we just caught her trying to do, no chance in hell I would ever leave her alone. That's absurd. Putting that aside, I don't know, man. This case isn't really grabbing me. Like, even if we just disregard the bullshit that happened in yesterday's trial with the stupid summation examination and the bar of soap that wouldn't register properly, if we disregard that, it's just really not grabbing me. I don't know. I mean, the fact that William Shakespeare is a thing isn't helping matters at all, but just, even putting that aside, there's really no other way for me to say it other than that it's just not grabbing me. Like, I don't feel that pulled into it. I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's a case. It's nothing inherently wrong with them. Just like waiting for it to. I'm waiting for the moment where it starts to go somewhere, I guess. So yeah, I mean, there is still the final trial, so maybe it'll blow me away in the final trial. But so far, it's just kind of. And that investigation was kind of cumbersome because I never felt like I was. It never felt like I knew what I had to do. It felt like, usually in investigation, I'm like, all right, I gotta do this, and then once we do all that, we're done with the investigation, and I always knew very clearly what we had to do next. This was just me kind of wandering around, trying in desperation to find something to progress the story, which isn't usually how investigations feel in these games, so that was a little off-putting, but, you know, we still have the final trial to bring it home, so I will keep my fingers crossed for now. That'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. Hope to catch you all tomorrow for some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Goodbye.